Meanwhile, we must do better to build alliances in the Scottish Parliament. It is a parliament of minorities, and we need to push through legislation now to help people because they cannot wait. Legislation to abolish water rates for our pensioners, for example. We must better hold the SNP minority administration to account and better forge the partnerships which can force their hand now. And finally, we rebuild from the grassroots. Leadership means thinking about every party member and what they face in arguing Labour's case in their street, in their community, in their workplace, and sometimes even in their own families. It should be a case that they believe in because they have been part of developing it. It should be a case that resonates with friends and colleagues. It should be a case that you are proud to make. I know that sometimes Labour members have had to try and explain why we're doing something to their community. They should be telling people what we are doing for their community. The leader will emerge from this leadership contest with a powerful mandate. They will have been elected by MPs and MEPs as well as MSPs, by the trade unions and the Co-op Party and Labour clubs, and above all by the individual membership of Scottish Labour. They will be able to draw on that distinctive Scottish authority to be a distinctive Scottish voice for Labour in Scotland. And just as when we're making a better future for Scotland, we cannot afford to waste the potential or give up or leave behind a single one of our young people. In making Labour's future, we cannot fail to use the commitment and capacity of a single one of our members. What is it that drives us on to organise, to canvass and to leaflet? It is the capacity to shape our future for the better. In 1997, when Tory Britain ended, we said to ourselves that morning, we did that. In 1999, when Donald Dewar led a new Scottish Parliament, we said to ourselves, we did that, we were proud. Our leadership has to help us rediscover our pride in what we have done and our passion for what we want to do now. And above all, our conviction that it is possible. When we rediscover belief in ourselves, then that is when the people will believe what we say. I am as Scottish as Alex Salmond. But I have been fortunate enough to see a bit of the world. I worked as a teacher for 2 years in Mozambique when that country was riven by a brutal civil war under regular attack from South Africa next door. And it faced drought on top of that. I was in Chile, days after Pinochet left power, and the pain of years of repression were revealed. I visited Rwanda a couple of months after 1 million of its people had been murdered. And I walked the roads of eastern Zaire with tens of thousands of those who then fled retribution to the biggest refugee camps the world had ever seen. I've been to the killing fields of Cambodia, and I've seen whole villages destroyed by AIDS in Zimbabwe. And in all of these places, I have seen the same thing. That no matter how difficult the circumstances, in the face of problems we can barely imagine, still, always, there will be people who will refuse to give in, who will work together and will find a way to make a better future for themselves, their families and their communities. That is what is at the core of my politics, and it is what is at the heart of Labour politics. I am as Scottish as Alex Salmond. But I see my country differently. I spoke about this to Scottish Labour Conference earlier this year. My Scotland was built by those who hewed coal beneath its land, those who worked that land up above, and those who left it in boats to bring back the harvest of the sea or to establish trade routes to the wider world. The lessons they learned, that if you watch out for the person next to you, then they will watch out for you. That pooling wealth in time of prosperity is an investment for everyone's future. And above all, that we achieve more together than we ever can apart. These are the lessons that built Scotland, and they are the irreducible core of our movement too. We are stronger together. These are the beliefs that inspired workers to organise in the workplace and in friendly societies and cooperatives. The beliefs that echoed through the women's movement in the long struggle for equality, that power shared is power multiplied and risk shared is risk reduced. We are stronger together. This is the truth which was made real in our parish schools and our ancient universities, embodied in Carnegie libraries like the one up the road, and in the Workers' Educational Association, passed on at the tradesman's bench from generation to generation, that knowledge is a public good and a commonwealth, to be shared and not hoarded, because education makes us free, and the unfulfilled potential of even one of our number diminishes and demeans us all. We are always stronger together. These are the values which made Scotland what it is, and will make it what it can be in the years to come. They are Labour values, they are your values, and they are mine. They are worth fighting for, and fighting for together, because together we can prevail. I ask your support as leader of Labour in Scotland.